Greetings, greetings, greetings. This is my son Goddess. My son Goddess, I'm back because evidently I didn't see anything where, you know, they had let me know any kind of notification. My live that I did this morning just disappeared. I did it in think it was yeah, it was last night. I was thinking it was in the wee hours, but it was actually probably around 11 o'clock. Maybe no, it was earlier than that. It was actually last night that I did it. So I don't know what I said for YouTube to just not notify me, but little old me, the my live just disappeared. I don't know. Maybe it's this picture, but this is some artwork that I found in ATL. Beautiful. Like I said, it was an artist that I admired the work. When I was at a Juneteenth festival a couple years ago. I think this is such a beautiful, beautiful picture. Such a beautiful picture. Um, I don't know. I did a live last night and it disappeared. I don't. YouTube didn't give me a notification or anything. I didn't get any type of notification of it. It's just disappeared. Like that's never happened. Well, it has happened. The last time they took my live and just let it disappear was when I told the truth about what happened to the Queen of Hawaii, the black queen, the melanated queen of Hawaii. What happened with Hawaii? So yeah, I do remember they took that one down, but they warned me when they took that down. That was years ago when they took down the. I did a whole few hours of teaching about actually what truly happened with Hawaii, and they took that down. Um, so I don't know what happened with the live that I did last night. It just I have no warning from YouTube. I see the short. I see the short with this picture on it, but I cannot find the one that I did. I was giving out a shout to my baby that I raised, birthday, my Juneteenth baby, which I, I was there. I was being the doula. I was doing the doula thing when she was born, doing the doula services, and I raised her. So I was giving her a shout out for her birthday. This is the first time that I hadn't been with her on her birthday like I normally am. Because last year we were together and I was acting like a little kid. We was at the water park and I was like 12 again. So I was on all the water slides with her and we were look and she was like, let's go up there like 3 or 4 times. So her mother was surprised that I was doing all of that stuff. But yeah, I love water and the water parks, and so we were getting on all the crazy rides at the water park. And we were actually going up there a few times, but it was this one water ride that she was scared of. And I'm like, why would you be scared of that water ride when we went on that thing that's like what I don't know what it's called, but you go down the slide and it's real scary and it's high up and you just circle around and then when you hit the water, it's like you go to the bottom and then you come back up. I think we went up there like 2 or 3 times. And it's a ride where one person can go by themselves, but then when you got two people, y'all can double up and go. So yeah, we were hitting them water. We was having a good time at it. But that one ride I wanted to go on, she wouldn't go up there because gonna be scared now, and I needed a partner. But her mother went up there, and I'm surprised her mother went because her mother had like she was scared to go on the other rides. But when she got up there, that thing just threw her up in the air, and I was like, "Yeah, that looks fun." Yeah. And that's something because I would not go on a roller coaster, but I would do the water ride stuff. Cause that's me. That's water rides is different from going on a machine. It's just I trust the water more so. You know what I'm saying? I'm a water sign anyway, somewhat. So I got the water element. I got some other elements, but I got that water element. So yeah, don't mess with the water. So yeah. Um, but yeah, we had a good time at the water park last year. Yeah, so we'll celebrate. I'll see her soon. But yeah, they took my live down. They took my live down last night. And what was I talking about? Because I'm trying to talk. Oh, I was talking about they might take this one because whatever I said, I don't know. Maybe it's I'm a look, I'm a they say don't give nobody the benefit of the doubt. But whatever I said, I don't know. They just the last time they took my live down was years ago and they told me why, but it wasn't the truth. I was telling the real history. Now I got up here and talked. I was telling the real history of what actually happened to the Queen of Hawaii. That the the queen, the melanated queen that actually owned Hawaii. So they took that down. But I was giving a shout out to the Zayag Institute because I was volunteering teaching fourth through eighth grade, and I was talking about how amazed I was of, how they were implementing programs and how they had a team. Brother Q had a team working uh on showing the children how to do like coding, technology, building computers, the STEM program, and how I learned and upgrade, which I was doing. I've been teaching and I was homeschooling some of my family members, and I have taught before, but not. I've taught groups, but not like that big of a group and that many classes. So it was like fourth through eighth grade. So yeah, it was a lot of students, and I enjoyed it. I learned a lot, and I also learned how to implement teaching within a 50-minute time frame. He taught me a lot. He really has a passion. Maybe they didn't like that I was talking about that school, the Zaya University. Maybe they didn't like that. But he has a passion for those kids. And I think now they are accredited in several different states. And I know when I was helping out, when I was teaching, they were getting set up in North Carolina, and that's really needed there. It's really a good program. I mean, nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. I got my faults, but overall, that is a very good program. Um, he has a passion for the children, and it's not all about money. It's good to see somebody that hello, hi, thank you. This not mine. This I do paint like this though, but this is another artist. This is another artist. I got some of my artwork up here on my post and stuff. I got some of my stuff up here, but this is not mine. This is another artist, and I'm gonna put the name up here. I'm gonna put it in my post and actually put the artist's name. The artist I think is out of Atlanta. Hi, Iva. Iva. Okay. Thank you. I love this painting too. I paint. I'm an artist too. Like I said, I'm gonna put the name of this artist. That way y'all can check him out and give this artist, give this artist some appreciation. But yeah, I was talking about that. That school is accredited now in several more states. It's a really nice homeschool program, and he really cares about the children, and he's passionate. Like I was trying to work with. mm, Should I even tell? I'm not gonna go into detail, but I was trying to work with somebody else with their school, and I'm not gonna say like they weren't serious because I believe they started out with the right mindset of starting a school, but I don't know. It just kind of like I I beg to differ. I hope they get back in line and get it together, but it just got weird. Anyway, with the Zaya Institute, you know what I'm saying? I seen the big picture where Brother Q was really passionate about the kids and he really loves like what he's doing, and it's an actual school that's actually uh it's an actual school that the kids are in. Like I actually was teaching there. So I can't say like, oh, this and that. I can't say anything bad because I actually was impressed with the passion that the team has about teaching the kids all kind of coding and technology, and it's accredited, and even some of the students that graduated coming back to teach. come that says a lot. They were coming back to teach after they graduated. So it's a wonderful overall, it's a wonderful school. Like I said, I had a lot of obligations and stuff because I have a lot of things I need. Like I said, I need an assistant. I'm gonna have to pay somebody soon, but I was working on a lot of projects and had a lot of things in the pot. And like I said, I volunteered, but I stepped away presently, but I will be, continuing to assist them in the near future because I really like the program. I was really impressed and I love the passion. And none of us is perfect. I'm not perfect. But just seeing that love for a passion and people not all about, bull crap or what I'm saying about business, really trying like really it's a wonderful feeling when you love doing something and you following your passion and you really don't care about the money, but eventually once you go within your purpose, everything gonna be all right eventually. It's and I wish more people would donate to that school because that really is a real school. It's open, it's kids in there trying, like I taught some beautiful children that were really trying to learn and really trying to, really get something out of the schooling or whatever. I mean, they were really passionate about learning. Some of the kids, how sometimes children they don't sometimes they kids gonna be kids, children gonna be children, but it was some really, really great children in that program that was really passionate about learning. And like I said, the team, I was impressed. I sat in the meetings for like hours, and all they talked about was how to better the program and the different people they were bringing in and how they were going. I mean, if you ask me, I'm just gonna tell you, it's no way I would have my child. If I found a program like that when back in the day, I would have put myself in there when I was in school because I was homeschooling myself anyway. It's and the parents can sit in with the kids and stuff. The parents can sit right there with the children, but they're actually in class, and it's pretty cool. It's nice, and I like I said, I learned a lot. I even I learned a lot of things. I learned a lot from Brother Q and from the other team members and stuff like that. So it was a great experience. But I just want to talk about like it's a lot of distractions going on now. It's a lot of things they throwing at us from these rituals that they're doing and want us to be, emotional about race and this and that, which it's a such thing as racism. It does exist in a lot of people's minds, but I do think it's a ritual and stuff like that because it's been hard for them to get our. It's been very high. Was it Eva? It's been hard for them to get our emotions stirred up, and that's what they live off of. So they got to come harder. But I want everybody that's under the sound of my voice to keep working on yourself. Like I was saying, and I think I was putting too much together because I never had a live disappear without a warning. Like it just totally disappeared. The only thing I see is a short, and I did this last night. I was talking about how uh the baby boomer and the generation X, how the generation X was the ones that were like latchkey kids. You were left alone a lot of times. I was saying that I was grateful because during our era we had on the younger version of the Generation X. We had the Ma Dukes and stuff like that. The grandmamas that would sit on the porch and that would lean out the window and watch us and stuff like that. They would kind of watch us. But we also had the parents that worked all the time, that would leave us alone all the time. And we had to pretty much raise ourselves somewhat and then fend for ourselves if it weren't for the mom dude. The parents was just kind of like once you got to a certain even before you got to a certain age, we were the generation that kept ourselves and we stayed outside till the lights came on. We was babysitted. We were left alone with our siblings at home. My grandmother would keep me a lot, but I still had to go home. So we just learn how to take care of ourselves. Like I think about me, I was doing stuff at a young age that I shouldn't have been doing. I had a childhood, but my teenage years, I was I was really working like a couple of jobs, going to school, doing stuff that I shouldn't have been doing, but that's what the deal was during those times with the Generation X. We were like underground. I call myself like an underground orphan. Everybody thought I had a silver spoon in my mouth, and I had these all this money, family money, and all this and that. But I was taking care of a lot of things as a child that I really probably shouldn't have been doing, like responsible for adults that were like, getting sick. And even before I was even like shit, 20, 21, I had dealt with like basically two sick parents. Um I think my grandmother, thinking when she passed, I was still probably, yeah, I wasn't even when my grandmother passed, I don't even think I was out of my 20s. So I dealt with a lot very young. I was dealing with like a somewhat still brain undeveloped, dealing with, adults being sick, having diseases that weren't even scientifically diagnosed and they didn't know what it was. And I'm having to deal with this. I'm having to deal with like um things that it was just a lot. Like, and then you throw in mass incarceration, the AIDS epidemic, the crack epidemic, and the and then later on the North American Foreign Trade Agreement. I mean, it was just so much thrown at us. And when I do my research and listen to people like Bobby Hemming and different people, they were looking for they were looking for the Messiah. They was trying to destroy that because J. Edgar Hoover said the only Messiah that we would ever have would be, and he was he was not a white person. He was passing as a white person, which a lot of them did, but he was more so like a dirty Moor, somebody that was passing as a white person, but he was a melanated person, but he was like against the other melanated people. He was doing everything he could to break down the black family structure, and he did a lot of stuff that did break it down. He was dead dead smack on trying to break down the black family structure, and because he said in his research that that's what was holding up the melanated community was the strong family. We had a strong community, a strong family. They had so many agents and stuff working. When you're looking at, they make us think that the Black Wall Street was destroyed with the Tulsa. They tell us that in our school books. When in reality, when you really research and you even listen to people like Claude Anderson, they tell you that the Black Wall Street was popping when integration happened. And somehow they influenced our people to leave their bus companies and leave their neighborhoods and leave their restaurants and go eat in the other people. But the people didn't want to be bothered. Why would you go? It never made sense to me. Why would you go to a school? Why was our family? My uncle told me stories about him having to integrate into a school that the people didn't even want him there and what he experienced. And I don't think my uncle ever got over that. My uncle talked about that not long before he passed away. He passed away during the pandemic. After that, he took, he wasn't in the perfect health, but he was living. And then, after they influenced everybody to take the jab and all that, my uncle didn't live too much longer after that. But he would talk about how his experience of integrating and leaving his school, that his teachers looked like him, his band, and he told me about all the pride that he had. And because my uncle could play the guitar, the piano, to the organ, the piano. He could sing by like Stevie Wonder mixed with some of the greatest singers you ever heard. My uncle could sing. He taught me everything I know about music. I mean, he taught me how to harmonize. I mean, all of that. And I have went on to do things that, you know what I'm saying, that I didn't even think I would do with, just the things that he taught me as far as music and writing and performing and things like that. I've got as far to have my stuff played on the radio, and they wanted me to, do things with some of these artists, but I wouldn't. And I'm glad I didn't, because I was in the inspirational music. And back then, they wanted me to do some of the crossover music, and I was like, "Oh no, I'm glad I was an ignorant Christian back then." I was like, oh no, I'm just doing inspirational music. And you gotta watch the listen, it ain't all what it's cracked to be in the gospel arena neither. I used to be like, oh well, if I'm doing like inspirational music, I don't have to go through this stuff. Man, them people just as bad. It's people. It's all the same. It's just like the same stuff. It's just covered up differently and making it look like well we into Christian music or they running the same. It's been times when I will go in the studio and I be like, look, I gotta get my studio in my house because I'm not about to be going through this. I'm not about to be going through this with these men folk, and I was married at the time. Now, I was like, I'm not going to these studios by myself because I saw how they were acting. So I'm like, no, I got talent. I can write too. I even know how to put my music together. I just need the right equipment. So I'm not about to be, no, y'all ain't playing with me like that. But anyway, may he rest in power. He was telling me about the things he experienced when he integrated. When he integrated, and I think that was like during the Martin Luther King era when the integration happened. He said he went through hell integrating into those schools. He said his self-esteem dropped so low because imagine that. Why did they do why did them kids have to ain't that's trauma. Imagine a little kid that's used to being with people that look like him. I mean, them teachers was building their pride. They had a band. Them bands were rocking. Come on now. They had the black band, the school teachers had home. He said his school with his people, melanated people, was wonderful. He said when he integrated into them schools, he said his self esteem something just changed. It did. It was like an emasculation. I think the way he described it is heartbreaking. So I'm like, that was the beginning of the end right there. Cause I wouldn't want to go to a place that nobody wants me there. Don't want a child shouldn't have to go through nothing like that. Yeah, that ain't that. You look, it's a lot of. We should get free therapy for all the stuff that this country done did to certain groups of people. We should get free therapy, healthcare, all that, all the stuff they done did. That's how I feel. Cause I mean, the way he talked to me about that, it broke my heart. And we had our own Black Wall Streets. We had it in Durham. I know there was a black airport. People don't know this. It was a black airport in Durham. It was black. They had their own bus stations. They had land. They had real estate and all of this. And it's mighty funny that when they integrated, they lost a lot of ownership and stuff like that too, because the black dollar wasn't circulating anymore. Because when the black dollar was circulating in their own communities and stuff, I believe it was $1 trillion industry. I believe it was more than what it was now because they had land, even a watermelon. That's why they picked on the watermelon farmers because the watermelon farmer was bringing in a clear, quick gold million from farming watermelons. So you know what I'm saying? They would pick on them because they were jealous. I'm telling you, those melanated people were doing their thing, and they didn't come from. I don't know nobody that came over here on no slave ship. That's that right there. I didn't even believe that when I was a kid in school. They was kicking me out of class because I debunked that. I would debunk that story and get kicked out of class like all my life. I was like, this ain't true. Like, this is not what my elders is telling me. Like, this ain't the same story that I know that my grandmother told me where I came from. We didn't come on no ship over here. What are you talking about? And I be trying to tell the other kids the same thing, and they be like, oh, the teacher be turning red sometimes. I mean, because I was like, this story don't even make no sense. Do you realize that how volatile the Atlantic Ocean is? Like, I knew, I always been into like science, geography, and all. I'm like, there's no way that these people could have survived that long. As long as y'all say that it took for them to come over here on a ship, they wouldn't have survived as volatile as the Atlantic Ocean is. What? It just didn't make it. It don't make it. Never. And I don't feel bad about it. And I used to try to. Somehow they brainwashed the baby boomers to believe. I don't know what they did. I think I don't know. Like, cause I'm like, well, did my grand? I would ask some of them, like some of my parents in that group. I was like, didn't the elders tell y'all this? They just act like they was all with this system. I mean, dang, like giving damn candy, poison candy to a baby. I don't know. But anyway, I couldn't rock with it. I was like, y'all just, I don't know. Y'all I made up my mind a long time ago. I was like, you know what? When it comes to the baby boomers, they didn't really leave no wealth. If they did, they were picking and choosing and having their picks. They caused a lot of problems. And I found out a long time ago that they couldn't leave me. I found that out. I found that out at a very early age when I saw, how messed up their mindset was. A lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them. I witnessed it, how messed up a lot of the baby boomers mindset. Like even recently, you try to tell them something, they get set on. Like you be like, listen, neither one of these political parties are really for us. Like they both playing games. They go and play golf together. Their kids are in bed together. They just playing like this game in front of us. They think that, oh my God, if it's a black person, they on my team. And if it's a black person, they gonna look out for us. And they gave us this, and the Democrats gave us this, and you got some of them, the Republicans. I'm like, okay. I mean, you can't tell them nothing. That's they mind's been like that for a long time. It's just, you know what I'm saying. You gotta love them, but you gotta realize, like, they really didn't give us no guidance. We had to figure it out for ourselves, and that's what Brother Sear be saying too. And imagine, and that's why a lot of they say that it's something wrong with the Gen X. I guess it is, because a lot of them didn't do the work on themselves. So they just imagine imagine having all of that baggage from being a latchkey kid, you having to raise yourself, you don't survive the AIDS epidemic, the crack epidemic, the North American foreign trade agree, all this stuff that's done happened over the last what 10 years, and you dealing with having to raise yourself. You got a whole generation that tell you like tough love, y'all this and y'all that. They had, I mean, a lot of them baby boomers, they were very cruel to us. They didn't give us what we needed. We had to figure it out for ourselves. And they went out in public and put on a front like, oh, um, I don't know what's wrong. Like, long as you were making them look good, it was okay. But when you became human and you wasn't being perfect, then it's conditional love. Like, I don't need you. I don't got no use for you. Like, you ain't on that throne no more. Like, scoot over. I'm gonna put somebody. It was not it was the love was not unconditional either. The love was based on conditions. They really didn't give us no kind of guidance. They really didn't teach us anything. They didn't even know how to choose for themselves. So a lot of times we were children or maybe naive, and when we looked to them for guidance, they led us in the wrong direction. And you really cannot have resentment for that. But you gotta say, listen, I'm gonna let bygones be bygones, but I'm not gonna sit here and you can make a choice. Like, you don't have to live the rest of your life under that kind of shadow of ignorance, or a person that don't have unconditional love, or that superficial cold mentality of the baby boomers. I mean, they were really cruel, a lot of them. I witnessed it on a day-to-day basis, from school to church to my own family. And a lot of them today, they play like they got amnesia now that they done got older. Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. And that never happened. You're just imagining things. That's the devil. So, always about the devil. I'm like, listen, y'all always talking about the devil. That's you. You must be the devil, because the devil ain't did that much. That's you. That is you. That's you. You doing this. This ain't got nothing to do with the devil. Ain't got nothing to do with God. It's you making choices. Like, stop. Take accountability. If somebody telling you that you stepping on their toe, and see, that's a problem with a lot of our people. And we already know that they, you know what I'm saying, they had the men. Like, we didn't have a good pool of men to choose from, because by the time we got out of school and it was time to date and it was time to marry, a lot of these men had already been poison with chemicals as far as like drugs, crack cocaine, and they had already been because we didn't have they held us back with having the technology to be able to look it up like we do now. You can look up and see what people done did and look up their record and see what you dealing with. But back a lot of times back then they had the technology, but they was holding us back. They had it hid or put away for themselves. So you couldn't look these men folks up and stuff, and these women folks up like you can now and see. So a lot of times the person that you would meet, that would not be the real person. And you couldn't really look at those people and tell whether they had these habits and stuff like that. And a lot of them guys, no matter what front they put on, a lot of them guys in that area was addicted to crack cocaine because that hit the black communities all over hard. Now I done did my research on all of this. They had already been damaged by the time we got out and started dating. So they would tell us like, "Oh, you need to choose better." Unless some of us even got married and tried to do like the Bible said. Some of us were going to church and praying and trying to do right and legalizing sex and all this and that, getting married. A lot of people still made a bad choice because with my research that I have been doing over the past few years, when you have been targeted like that, you can do all the right things. I'm telling you, just like you can do all the right things. You can have your ducks in a row. You can be a decent person. But if you're being targeted and that's what has been put out into the community, more than likely you have a big chance of getting you know what I'm saying, the projects that they have experimented on. That's what it was. A lot of them had been already turned out from being the boule getting to them and turning them out, making them into, you know, down low brothers. I'm just gonna keep it on 100. So you don't know this. You're like trying to date and listen to the love music and all this, but you dealing with somebody that has been compromised. They've been compromised before you got to them. They have been. I don't know if they've gotten into the rituals of you know what I'm saying. The like I said, the down low rituals. They already done. Some of them done been in trouble. Some of them have been chemically programmed with by the time we got to them, and a lot of the women, wasn't accustomed to that. They was just innocently looking for love. So you looking for a relationship, but you dealing with somebody that got a whole lot of fractures where they might be being programmed and possessed and all kind of stuff. And you don't know this because you ain't experienced. Like nobody warns you. Like it ain't no angel sitting there like, hey, when you get out here and start dating, this is what you need to be looking for. You know that when you go out here in the dating field, it's gonna be where a lot of these guys are on the down low. A lot of these guys are addicted to stuff, and they're not gonna tell you because they know how to mask it and look decent and da 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 da. A lot of them got issues. They done been in trouble, and you can't look it up because you don't have the technology. So you dealing with a person that's got multiple personalities. They really don't like women, and they're deceitful and probably dangerous, and don't need to be. So nobody was sitting on our shoulder warning us. You know what I'm saying? And it could have been a woman like that a man done hooked up with. That was like, this woman looks very nice and she looks very attractive, but she has a lot of addictions and a lot of childhood trauma that you're gonna have to carry into this relationship. And you don't want, I mean, we didn't know. Like nobody prepared us for what we had to face, and it's probably even worse now because the generation X created the millennials. So I can imagine how messed up it might be for them, considering that some of the some of the Gen X's were really fucked up raising kids. Like some of the kids had to grow up with the parents and go through all the BS that was passed down from the baby boomers. They did a lot of damage to the Generation X. I'm not trying to blame nobody because I done took accountability for a lot of my stuff. I have taken accountability. Like I'm like, you know what? I They say you choose your family. Okay, I will accept that. But I decided I'm not gonna walk around and just be in like like if you really don't work on yourself and let stuff go and heal, you will be walking around in hell all the time. And I decided a long time ago, honey, I ain't gonna walk around in hell all the time. Hell no, I'm not walking around with that stuff on my mind. I'm not gonna keep right on holding on to stuff now, and that's why I branch off from a lot of people from my past because I went through a lot with people from my past that was even blood relatives and friend. Just it was a lot of deceit, a lot of backstabbing, a lot of stuff that did like a lot of things that they didn't have to do. But if they didn't do what they did, I wouldn't be who the person that I am now, able to deliver messages and heal people and stuff like that. So I chose that. But it was just, in my opinion, I'm glad it made me who I am. But I'd be like, no, fuck that. I'm not dealing with them people. Like I don't want to be around that kind of snakeism. I don't want, and I take that back because snakes are not bad. They demonize a snake. Snakes are not bad. Snakes, serpents are not bad. They demonize that. But anyway, you know that's the term they use, snakes in the grass. I have always been I not saying that I'm perfect, but I've always tried to show unconditional love as much as possible. Sometimes I probably didn't. I probably was tough, but I've always tried to be fair. Now, if you ain't treat me right, now I'm gonna give you the same energy. I'm gonna match your energy. But I always try with people, and it just seemed like it wasn't a good humans. It seemed like humans are just full of shit. Just even as a kid, like trying to be a girl's girl is impossible. Like, I mean, it's nearly impossible because I don't know. Like they did a good job on dividing us against each other. I mean, I've always seen where a woman will always side. I didn't do that. I wasn't married and I wouldn't do that. So I mean, I was different. Like I wasn't like against my mate, but I didn't just link up with no man and act like, oh, it's me and him against the world and fuck everybody else. And man, these women, from what I experienced all my life, they will turn on you in a heartbeat for a man. I done seen women turn on me for my own man that I was married to. Them bitches be on some shit when it comes to some pee. I'm like, bitch, I know you ain't turning on me for some shit that's mine. I got paperwork on and I done put on. I know you ain't gonna act like that. They would turn on you for a man and it ain't even they man and he ain't even studying them. They'll turn on you if your man tell them that he want them, they'll turn on you for your or they'll start acting funny just cause your man giving them. Ain't that some shit? I ain't never in my life. I ain't never in my life did no punk ass shit like that. Maybe I'm different. Maybe that's normal. For that's maybe that's no. I didn't never fold like that. I done have I done had situations where I was friends with a lady and the man come to me trying to talk about me to her and stuff like that, and I would not fall for it. But I don't know if I had that same loyalty done to me. I don't know, but I know I done had situations where I'm friends with a woman, we cool, or even some family. The nigga come trying to holler at me. I'm like I'm gonna tell the woman. That's how real I am. I don't care if he look good. I don't care how much money he got. I don't care. I'm not gonna be in no situation where that's my friend and I'm sitting up here linking up with her man, but we friends and I'm sitting in that lady's face. I never was on that no. I was never on no time like that. That's why I don't excuse stuff like that because I know I done been in some very sticky situation where I still stay loyal. I still stood on my square. I still stayed 10 toes down with these women. But when it came to me, and these niggas that I'm with start whispering even my own motherfucker that I'm married to. I know him. I know how he used to roll. Soon as he start whispering in their ear and going behind my back and talking to these so-called friends, bitches want to start cutting their eyes and acting funny. I'm like, this motherfucker, and I tell them like the only reason that we ain't together and the only reason that we broke up, cause I got out of there. If I would have stayed, he won't gonna never leave. And when I did break up with him, I still couldn't get rid of his ass. He was stalking me for years. I was like, just leave me the fuck alone. You not gonna do right. You not gonna do right. You don't want to build nothing like I want to build. Leave me the fuck alone, because I'm not gonna just sleep with somebody. I'm not built like that to just be like, oh, the loving is good. I can't leave him alone. If it ain't mind, body, and soul and linking up with me like that, I'm gonna find a way to get over you. That's why I don't understand. That's why you gotta have discipline. You gotta be strong. If I don't like you, even if you good in the bedroom, I'm gonna find a way. That it's gotta be more than just that. Even though I ain't even gonna lie, I like that. Don't nobody like it more than I do, but I have discipline. I'm not just gonna be linking up with somebody I can't stand, and they're a scum of the earth, MFer that is no good. They don't treat the kids right. They just doing diabolical stuff, and I could just keep going. Like, I can't make my skin crawl. It makes my skin crawl, and a lot of these men, if you sleeping with them, you can get they gonna pretend like they cool with the kids, and they gonna do for long as they can get some cookies. But you know when them cookies cut off, because a lot of these men, when the cookies, that's what it be about. When them cookies cut off, they ain't. I'm gonna go and tell you, and you gonna have to stand on business, because you don't supposed to be giving your body to somebody that you know that you shouldn't be mixing with. Because a lot of times when you mixing with the wrong energy, that's why your life is in turmoil and all messed up. You gotta cut it off at the root, and that's not easy. That's easier said than done. I know for a lot of people, but you gotta cut it off. You can't give everybody. Yeah, you make a mistake, because we didn't have a lot of good dating pool out here in our community. We didn't. A lot of these women were innocent. They didn't know what they was getting into. They didn't know how vicious these men. They didn't know that these men were into, addicted to chemicals, and that the government had them put in the neighborhoods. We didn't know that they were, a lot of these men were on the down low and stuff like that. We didn't know a lot of this stuff. We didn't know we was dealing with these women hating, demon possessed people. You know what I'm saying? And then a lot of them had babies to weaponize the children against you. Like, they didn't have kids with you because they wanted a child with you to hold you back from doing what you needed to do, but no weapon. And you got to navigate. Like, I know this man had his child. Even if you married, what's marriage if you ain't building? Like, if the ancestors ain't honoring it, and y'all ain't supposed to be, what's that? You gotta imagine navigate. I know this man had this kid with me to try to keep up with me and hold me back, but I still gotta work on loving myself. And you can't love a child or anybody else if you don't love yourself. You got to be held accountable for how you treat these children. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of work we got to do. It's a lot of healing that we got to do. It's a lot of things that's not right that's been done. But you know what? It's not too late for you to let go, for you to heal, and for you to free yourself, and stop piling these new distractions of they doing this and man, they been trying to take us. They been trying to take us. Don't get in no fear mongering. They been trying to. They ain't they ain't succeeded yet. We already won. A lot of us just don't know it. We already done won the battle. They just playing. They playing in your face, and they are desperate, and they scared. And I don't know how long this will stay up, because the one I did, what's it say? Women don't act. What it say? Women don't act like women. Listen to you. Oh, really? What do you act like? Do you act like a man? You judging a woman, but I'm not up here judging men. I'm talking about everybody. Women don't act. What when did the universe give you the book on how women's supposed to act? Who are you to tell a woman how she's supposed? See, that's the problem. You worried about how women act, but I bet you ain't checking yourself. I bet you ain't looking in the mirror. I bet you not going within trying to figure out, are you really acting like what a man's supposed to act like? You worry too much about a woman, so I know you ain't standing on your square. You worry too much about a woman doing what they supposed to be doing, but a lot of these men now are effeminate. They might not be messing with a man, but their actions are very effeminate. They're gossiping. They're not men. They because they ain't had no fathers. They look up to people that they shouldn't be looking up to on YouTube and stuff like that. That's what they looking for, a father like Charleston White and who else? Those twins, or somebody that they should be able to look at and say, this is not a good role model for me. Y'all looking for a daddy. And and you are your own hero. It's inside of you. You can't look for no leader outside of yourself. You are your own leader. It's within you. I ain't never been that weak minded where I'm looking for a woman to lead me. Just like it ain't you your own leader. It ain't no leaders it ain't no leaders nowhere. It ain't no leaders in the no communities. You better lead yourself and stop looking at the what is it? What is it called? Those men that get up here and talk all this stuff about women, and they only mad with their mamas and whatever woman hurt them when they was a child. They need to go and heal. They need to go and do like I did and heal from the trauma. That's what they need to do. I'm gonna call somebody out on their stuff, but I'm not gonna sit up here every day and talk about what men need. I'm talking about the dating pool that we were given, and those men, they were purposely assaulted, targeted. The men in our community was purposely targeted so that once we got to the marrying age and dating pool, we would have to deal with these men that's been, you know what I'm saying, compromised and chemically put into our communities. Like they, you know what I'm saying, like they flooded the communities with crack cocaine and made it 80% of your time in mass incarceration. Now, if they had cocaine, powder cocaine, it's okay. And that was more so of the drug that the Caucasians was using. But if it was, the crack, then they would get a lot of prison time and stuff like that. So that was targeted. And a lot of them guys were just like now. It's a lot of addiction going on. People are so addicted to things, and so it's really a mess now because that generation, the millennials, came from the generation X. So it's a mess. And a lot of the generation X did not resolve their trauma. They're going around there, Jesus gonna fix it. Oh, God is love. God still getting married, still trying to have relationships with other people, still trying to brush over the traumas that they didn't get right with their mamas and daddies. I ain't saying a lot of these old people, you can't talk to them because they act like they got amnesia now, or they ain't not gonna come and say, I did you wrong, forget. No, you gotta go with it within and make a peace with yourself. Sometimes you might gotta write them a letter. You might gotta write them a letter, cause or text them or something, cause you really can't talk to a lot of the baby boomers because they heads in the cloud about they waiting for the rapture to come in. They done did all this evil stuff all their lives and pretending to be these good people, and now it's time for Jesus to come get them. So you gonna have to go within and fix yourself. But I'm just saying, like, a lot of our generation, you gonna have to work on your heart. You gonna have to work on your heart and soul and your mind. Like, you gonna have to. It's hard. It's hard as hell. It's not. It don't seem fair, but you gonna have to take accountability for your stuff. That go for men and women, not just women. Like, how you gonna sit here and try to pluck out the what they say, pluck out the mote that is somebody else eye, and you got a big beam sitting in your eye. Women don't act like women. Well, men sure don't act like men. You know they putting stuff in our food anyway. They putting stuff in the food to make y'all have titties. And I guess they want us to grow balls. They want us to be men and it seemed like, hey, and I'm me. I don't put myself in no look, I'm not trying to fit into none of y'all little stuff, y'all little categories. I'm myself. I'm not looking for nobody to sweep. I stopped believing that fairy tale stuff. I gotta be my Prince Charming anyway. I'm my Prince Charming when I need to be and all that. If I can meet if somebody come along there that I don't work on my soul and heart and mind, and we can match up, that's gonna be the person that ain't gonna sit here and worry about, is she this? Is she, they're gonna accept me and I'm gonna accept them, and we can balance out the energies and build together. That's all fine and good. And I'll show them, you know what I'm saying, love and compassion and care. But I ain't sitting here waiting for my thumb and waiting. It's better to have loved and lost than not have loved at all. I ain't. I'm good. I'm not waiting for nobody to come along and start judging me and trying to put me in a box. I done did that slavery shit. I done did all that trying to be the perfect wife and the perfect, and it ain't never fucking enough. It ain't never enough. A lot of these people are not happy with themselves, so they're not gonna never be happy with nothing that you do because they're not happy with themselves. And we be fools trying to make a miserable person that don't like themselves happy anyway. You gotta love yourself. You gotta work on yourself and heal yourself. Then you can appreciate and have compassion for somebody else and not expect perfection from them because nobody's perfect. You will have compassion on people for trying to be themselves. And when you really love yourself, when you really got unconditional love for yourself, you will have it for other people. And you won't put up with no crap, but you will accept people for who they are and have compassion. Even if you don't deal with them. If you deal with them from a distance, you will say, you know what? I love you enough to leave you alone. I can't deal with that. But I accept you for who you are and I respect it. Even though I gotta, handle you with a long handle spoon. Exactly. Like you would learn how to have compassion. You don't have to deal with everything and be no tail rag or let them walk all over you, but you'll walk away. You can walk away in love. You don't gotta burn the house down to walk away. You don't gotta burn the bridge and all that. But you don't have to deal with nobody's stuff. But you can have unconditional love for people and compassion. You can mirror people because you when you look at yourself, you got something. We all got some stuff in us that's not right that we need to work on. You know what I'm saying? Like I realized that some of the things I was running away from was because it reminded me of my old self when I was in survival mode and when I was in my little insecure mode of trying to keep up with the Joneses and trying to impress this one. And they told me you would never be nothing. And I made sure that they know I was something and just flashing it in front of their face and, flashing materialistic things and all of that. So I had an issue when I see people doing that because that was me once upon a time when I was in survival and fear mode of and insecure within. You know what I'm saying? Everything looked all right on the outside, but within I'm a pure mess. So I had to embrace that side of me from a past time. I had to embrace that, and as I embraced that, it showed me how to understand these people because that was me at one time, and not recently. But at one point, once upon a time, when I was like having all these responsibilities and having to be a grown up when I was a child and taking on all the responsibilities and showing people that I'm tough and I can handle it and I got it going on. That was me once upon a time. So I understand. I've learned to have more compassion when I see that side. That's that survival mode. That reptilian brain is active. Then you acting into that side of your brain where you in survival mode. You afraid of the unknown and you got to control everything and the outcome and this and that, and yeah, it's just too much. It's no way to live. It's really no way to live. I mean, it looks good, but you always worried about something. Always worry. You worry. No peace within. No peace. It's a priceless thing to have joy and peace and enjoy the simple things in life. I'm telling you, and that comes from going within and working on yourself. And it's a lot of tools you can use. You don't you It's nice to have be able to go and get this and buy this and order it from Amazon, but you can start with just what you got now, yourself. Just working on yourself, going within, meditation, breathing exercises, different things, grounding, just sun gazing, taking your feet off in nature as your shoes. I mean, not feet, not taking your feet off. I forgot. Taking your shoes off in nature and stuff like that, and finding yourself, who you really are, connecting with your higher self. Because all these distractions, they coming to drain your energy and stuff like that. And it's a lot of portals that's open. And you want to take that energy and create what you need. That's what they trying to do. They trying to get all the energy and the lust. You want to take that energy within you, all this UFO stuff. Yeah, I look at these movies. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't just walking around here like I got a stick up my you know what, and I don't enjoy looking at movies and enjoying life. Yeah, I have a balance to things, but these movies and stuff, they got to put it out here and trying to get everybody into this UFO stuff. Malachi York, Bobby Hemmett, and Dr. Deborah Blair, and all these people been talking about this stuff. And like some of the spiritual people were saying, those aliens in that movie do look like the Greys, and they do look like that thing that Aleister Crowley was drawing. Shit that they done created. You know what I'm saying? Trying to bring in the church and the Catholic Church and make us think that's God and all this and that. And it ain't nothing good when alien talking about adopting children and all this and that. That ain't nothing good. So I mean, I did look at it and I got some points out of it. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it was nothing that amazing, though, but it was okay. It was similar to some other movies I've seen. Maybe not as good, but it was all right. It was reminding me of the Matrix a little bit, and some other stuff mixed in there. But somebody said it. The aliens used to be brown. Now they look what? They look like the AWAS. They look like the thing that Aleister Crowley was drawing. If you know, a lot of people's like, oh, I'm scared to look. But if you see the thing he was drawing, it the way they got them aliens looking, it looked like that. Something they created. Cause I know I've heard stories and seen them pictures of them, that black woman on them, that melanated woman that they found on the moon that was dipped in gold and all. They don't just look. They don't look like that. They don't look like that. And then, what in the movie they was disguising themselves in that Full Disclosure movie as animals. Mm. And them, like brother Sear was saying, and some of the other ones, them animals signified a lot of their Masonic stuff, like the elk and the cardinal is the Catholic Church, and the raccoon is the coon, or the what is it, the sellouts that's in our community, the boule and all that. So it was a lot of symbolism in there. They be giving you a layered message. So yeah, I mean, they trying to bring in like of course they would bring in the Vatican. Of course. I did a live about that not long ago. Of course they would bring that in. Yeah, so it's just I'm trying to think, what did I talk about on that live that they took down? um yeah, just you don't need to be beating yourself up, but you do need to take accountability. And yeah, a lot of our women don't take accountability, and a lot of our men don't either. We've been targeted to hate each other, and we need to wake up just like we waking up. I've been stopped patronizing people that don't like me, as far as these businesses and stuff. If you act like you don't like me and you want to be nasty to me, I won't mess with you. I been did that for the pandemic hit. The pandemic. I've been stopped doing. I've been started doing my own stuff. I want to thank them. That's why I got locks right now. I used to be the weave and wig queen. I ain't even gonna hold you. Couldn't nobody put it like that. And I didn't need no Photoshop. I didn't never need no Photoshop. My photos be real, and I be looking like I'm on the runway. I'm just saying, and that's straight like that. But I've been left them people alone because I got tired. I got tired of the disrespect, and they acting like that I got to spend I ain't got to spend my money nowhere where you don't treat me like a human being, honey. No, I don't gotta eat there. I learned how to cook my own food from all different countries, even Asian food. Now it's every now and then it might be a place that it's they treat me. I don't need, so it's a place that I can go to. I ain't even gonna lie. It's a place that I can go to, and I don't even have to pay sometimes. And this is before any of the blackouts and all of that. This is a place that I could go to, and sometimes I'll eat, and they'll tell me, "You don't have to pay for your food. Somebody already paid for it." And this has happened more than one time. They treat me so nice with so much respect. I don't got no problems with them. I mean, and sometimes I'll overtip because they so nice to me. Like, I don't even have to pay sometimes when I go. I'm like, wow, that really hadn't happened to me. And so I'm like, I really enjoy it. It's really beautiful. Like, I really enjoy eating there. It's just, I'm aligned with that. I mean, it's right. But it's been some places not. I ain't even gonna hold you. I ain't met no asshole Asians where I'm at now. I have not met, and I can't believe it. They treat me now in North Carolina, not in every state in North Carolina. In the town where I'm from, them Asians, oh my God. Oh Lord. Mm. I've been stopped. They made me stop going to the net. I'm telling you, because I was spoiled. Like I used to go to the shop when I was in the city and I would get my massages and I get all kind of stuff done. Like, and they would spoil me. I went back home and started, thinking I was gonna get some. They the reason why I locked my hair. They motherfucking ass is the reason why I stopped going to they put me they and I stopped eating out to their restaurants too. Down there, and that's in that place where I'm from. Oh, I left all they stuff alone. I damn sure did it. Before I stopped going to the shop constantly, I would drive an hour and a half away to get my nails done to the place where I was recently living. I would drive almost an hour and a half to get my nails, my manicure, and my pedicure. Cause I refuse. I would rather spend that gas than to sit there and go somewhere that. I mean, the way that you're not gonna be acting like that with me, and you're not gonna be treating me like that. You're not gonna be following me. Then this is like I said, where I'm at now. Them Asians, oh my lord, they. I have no problems with them. Even my doctor. I never really had any problem with no Japanese people anyway. My name is Japanese, so I think they think I'm some kin of them. I ain't had no problem with them. I ain't even gonna hold you. We be talking like we family. I ain't had no problem with no Japanese. And I work with them at the hospital. I work with the Japanese. I have worked with the Japanese and stuff like that at the hospitals, but the Japanese doctor that I had where I'm at now, oh Lord. He is he be like, girl, did you go and get that Japanese steak that I told you to go and try? I'd be like, yep, I sure did. He was like, well, is it tender? I said, yep, I could slice it with a fork. The Japanese doctor that I deal with where I'm at now, he be like, it was good. I was like, it sure was good. When you told me to go and get that steak, that Japanese steak, I went right there and got it, honey. So did yeah. So they cool. They all right where I'm at now, but it be the location, I think, and the energy that's over that location too, that make them people, sometimes they get indoctrinated into thinking they can now I got a whole different story about some of them other cultures. I'd be like, you can go you better get out of my face. You better get out of my face with that BS. Cause this ain't the day. This is not the day to be messing with me like that, brother, sister. Cause I don't know who you think he is, but anyway, I just avoid. I don't look for trouble. I'm a very peaceful person. I just go places. I find places that resonate with me and my energy, and that's where I go. I don't keep trying to go in and I don't have to. I don't have to go there. I don't have to patronize places that don't like me and spend my money. I don't have to do that. So I have a choice. I could create my heaven or hell. So that's what I decide to do. That's what I do. I go places that resonate with me and my energy and enjoy myself, and then you can create your reality. You know what I'm saying? Best you can. And if you start thinking, so as a man think, that's what he is. I'm telling you. As a man thinketh he is. Don't let nobody program you and take your energy and use you for an energy source. You take your own energy. Take your energy back and program your own mind to create what you want to create. Because they say the reality that we living in, we created it by what we think. And I used to be like, no, no, that ain't true. That's not. It is. It's true. It's really true. And I hate to admit that, and a lot of people do, but it's really true. It's really true. You can speak things into existence and you can think things into existence. So you have to be careful what you're thinking and speaking because the universe will manifest. Like if you always talking about, oh, I don't have, I just not a. So the universe gonna be like, oh, you lacking? Like yeah, you ain't got it, do you? You don't have enough. You're not abundant. If you always speaking, I'm this, I'm broke. You don't never say that. You always speak, I'm abundant. You know what I'm saying? I'm abundant. I got everything that I need. I'm grateful. You speak that. You speak that. If you don't believe it, after a while you'll start believing it. and looking in the mirror, telling yourself that even if you don't love yourself, you start looking in that mirror, telling yourself you love yourself, and I comfort that little child that was hurt, and I'm healed and this and that. Start just what I'm saying. You'll figure it out from within. That's what we need to do. We done did the outer work. Well, we know how to look good on the outside. Damn, we know how to dress, wear the right clothes, drive the right car, buy the right furniture. We know how to do all of that. Now it's time to work on our heart, soul, and mind. It's time to work on that inner man. It's time. It's time for that. It's time to stop building it up till it all falls down and work on our inner man. Stop putting on a show for these people. Don't care. I've realized they don't give a damn about me. They don't care about me if I ain't up there putting on a front and putting on a show. For who the fuck are they? For me to what I'm saying? What? Who am I trying to impress? I'm worried about impressing myself from within. All that attention, want good attention. I was attracting the wrong attention when I was trying to impress people. I just look. I ain't showing off nothing. It's best to, what I'm saying. I wouldn't say out of sight, out of mind. It's best to be comfortable and wealthy than to be famous. All that attention a lot of times is not good attention. And I learned that the hard way. I used to attract a lot of attention. I ain't saying I don't want to, you know what I'm saying. I just all attention is not good attention. I'm just saying I don't want nobody following me around and just cause they know my face. And I never wanted to be famous. Not where they know they gotta follow me everywhere I go. Oh no, never, never, never. It's never been desirable to me. So yeah, I'm trying to think. Did I say everything I needed to say? Talking about how the black dollar used to circulate in our communities and how we need our own soup. Even it's people that got supermarkets and stuff, and I plan to check that out. You know what I'm saying? We need our own stuff. We used to have our babies with the doulas at home. I seen a lady that's up here that's actually had her home birth, had her baby in a pool or whatever. She did the natural thing and she buried the afterbirth and all that. The what is it called? The amniotic sac and all that. That's how we supposed to do. She connected the baby back to the earth. They didn't tell us none of that. And breastfeeding back during the I don't think they had the I don't even think these doctors encouraged the baby boomers to breastfeed us. I don't. I think that was something foreign. I don't think they encouraged a lot of the Generation X to breastfeed. Do you? That's why I be so happy to see the awakening that's happening now with this generation. Like you got people going back to doing what our ancestors originally did, what they outlawed. Do you know they outlawed our people from having babies at home and dealing with the midwives and the granny doulas and the granny nannies that were delivering the babies? They outlawed that and made us go to these hospitals. When in Switzerland, Japan, and a lot of these countries where the air is very uh pure, the safety for the women is high level. They're very safe in these areas. The air quality is great. The healthcare is awesome. They are doing what we done for thousands of years. They're doing the home births. It's been outlawed, back in the early 1900s. They outlawed it without people, but these women have never stopped doing it. And that was from us. You know what I'm saying? The original. So we going our people are going back to that the doulas and the child birthing at home and in nature, and that just did something to me to see that somebody actually was like doing that. Even you got to make sure that you don't need a medical staff or whatever. You want to have somebody on hand in case you need to get to you want to have a backup plan in case you need to get to a hospital. So, but the people are trying to take it back to the ancient ways, and I just love it with the doula and the home births and the connecting the baby back to the earth by burying the amniotic sac and all of that. So that you know what I'm saying. That's a wonderful thing. It's just a beautiful thing to see. What a time to be here. A lot of things that are trying to distract us, we have to look at what's really happening. It's a shift. It's portals that's open that we need to be tapping into. We need to be tapping into these portals and into these shifts from going within and working on ourselves and getting that sun. That sun is a lot going on with that sun, in nature. We just need to be aware. I got discernment, be aware of our surroundings, but don't walk in fear because you are protected, but have your spiritual protection and your physical protection, and be aware because a lot of things that has happened, we don't realize it, but it has been targeting the women and the children. Uh, the things that's happened with that happened throughout, my time frame here about this earth, it has really targeted the mass incarceration has targeted women and children. The NAFTA program, who suffered when the melanated man jobs went overseas. The man did too, but the women and the children, they lost their income. Who suffered when the AIDS epidemic hit? The women and the children. Could this stuff be prevented? Yeah, but it was all done by design and construction. Who really suffered when the land was taken, the properties and stuff taken, when the man is out of the home and couldn't provide it. So the main target was the women and the children. So we can say, well, I'm going to take me, but it's always what is trying to be hidden in plain sight, where they play in your face like, oh, you good, you independent, you got more education than your man. But I noticed that the last few years when I be going out and stuff like that, these people done got really, really, really froggy. When you out by yourself, they act differently than when you out with a man. Now I agree with that because the brother Sir said it. He said it on his video. When I noticed the difference. I be noticing patterns. There used to be times when I could just go places, by myself, and I feel comfortable and da 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 da. I noticed that when you go places with men, like as a melanated woman, I'm just saying you don't have to be with nobody that's hurt. You better off by yourself with the ancestors and your protection or whatever, spiritual, physical protection. But I'm just saying, I noticed that when you go by that it's something going on. When you go by when you go by yourself, you got to be really, really aware and protected physically, spiritually, because they act differently than when you go. It's something about when you go in there with a man. It's something about going somewhere with a man. Cause me, I ain't saying I'm Miss Independent. I ain't never want to be Miss Independent. Da 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 da. I always knew what I'm saying, the man and the woman needed each other. I ain't never been on that time. Now I grew up with the baby boomers that was on that where they don't need no man. They really don't like men. I ain't never been like that. I always like me a man. I always knew I ain't want to do it all by myself. I always knew. I always been feminine in that aspect. But I'm just saying, sometimes stuff don't work out. Things end, things don't last forever. But I'm saying, I notice. I'm not saying to be linking up with men because you not men that you shouldn't be around. But I'm saying you got men in your family too. It don't necessarily have to be where, well, I'm gonna keep this man because I need him to be around me. And he going upside your head. He might be the one to take you out. No, I ain't talking about none of that. I'm saying if you got like it's a village, like family members and stuff like that, even your family members and stuff like that, they act differently. I notice when I go places by myself. I've been in places and it's like I be being followed or they act looking right. It be some strange. I'm like, what kind of vampire shit, bitch? I am not the one. I am not the one. I look real. I look like I ain't gonna. I look like I won't do nothing, don't I? Maybe you think I want, but you gonna catch hell because I'm not a person to walk around in fear mode. And I'm not a person that's a scary person or somebody that's ready for some drama or looking for it. But I do pick up on energy and stuff. And I notice how, they just zone in on me. I'm like, and I might be on an owl and then I look, they on the same. I'm like, I'm not no, this ain't that and that ain't this. And it don't be like, it don't be like a look like, oh, I like you or you're attractive or I want to hook up. It be like It's like you trying to what you on every hour that I go on. I don't like that. I don't like that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm very aware, but I be like, look, I'm right here. Y'all, I don't be by myself. Even if it look like I'm by myself, I'm not. I don't. I'm rarely alone. Shit. I'm rarely alone. I always got somebody. You know what I'm saying with me. Even if it look like I don't, I do. But I'm just saying, like, I notice how they act differently when you have a man with you versus when I noticed it. I've been noticing this the last few years. It's a difference. And I'm not saying to be around no violent man, because a man that's not meant for you and that's sent to take you out, that might be the person that you gotta worry about who you sleeping with. It don't got to be no man that you involved with. Like it can be a family member or whatever. It can be, they look at they look at these little boys like they grown. They look at it's something about that masculine energy. It's something about that masculine energy that get a motherfucker mind right quick. Where you know what I'm saying? Even they look at these boys when they like 12 years old as you know what I'm saying, and you know what I'm saying, the teenagers and stuff like that. It don't necessarily gotta be where you gotta go get a husband or some straggler to be around you that's not safe. I'm just saying I noticed in the last few years, these people act different when they see a melanated woman with a man versus when you by yourself all the time. And just if you got to be by yourself, you might got to be by yourself, but stay protected spiritually and physically and be aware because it's something going on. It's something going on. I noticed it. And I'm like I said, I'm not no scary person. And I used to get on the road. I used to get on the road and just go and just go here and go there and da da da. Da. I've been led like over the lot, not to be in fear, but just to be aware, and you know what I'm saying. Know my surroundings and be protected on all ends, and just you know what I'm saying. I just noticed the difference, So a lot of times we be thinking like, oh, I'm it. They be the target. Really be the women and the children. That's why they want to make a lot of our men, you know what I'm saying, effeminate, up here fussing and worried about what women don't do instead of worrying about what they need to be doing to, you know what I'm saying, to protect and all of this and get their stuff together. Get yourself right, and then you know what I'm saying, everything else will fall in line. That's how I feel. That's what I'm trying to do. Get myself right. Get myself right. And then you know what I'm saying? If I'm and once I work on myself, I'm gonna evolve out of that stale energy around people that I don't need to be around. They ain't gonna be able to be around me. Them people that ain't doing right, if I'm keep on working and healing and vibing up and balancing out and taking accountability, after a while, I'm gonna vibrate out of that damn loop with them motherfuckers that ain't connecting with my energy anyway. They ain't gonna be able to be around me or stand to be around me because we ain't even vibrating on the same vibration. But yeah, I'm just like, it's just a time. I mean, it's a great time to be alive, but it's also a time to be watchful because a lot of times, as in the past, as in the present, a lot of times the target is the women and the children, and they feel like you know what I'm saying. A lot of times that man is the you know what I'm saying, the protection and stuff like that. Even if it's a boy, even if it's a boy, they feel like if that man is feminine or he want to be a woman, then he they you know what I'm saying. What they feel like, what he gonna? But you got some tough shit. You got some tough ones out here too. That's you know what I'm saying. That's into the lifestyle. But I'm just saying they want everybody seem like to be like that because they want. I guess they want to be able to easily get to the women and the children. It's happened in the past. They say history try to repeat itself, but no weapon. No weapon. That's why they putting all this stuff in the food. They putting it in the food, the lower the testosterone in the water, in the air. They putting all this stuff in the food to make the even the stuff that y'all smoke that they distributing. You have to be careful with that because they even putting stuff in there. Matter of fact, it ain't even the same. It ain't even the same, but it used to be. It's a different. These people act different. I mean, they can't drive. back in the day when people used to smoke the herb, they be relaxed for a while. You know what I'm saying? You know, now they going, it's like a crack. They constantly going back, gotta keep buying. Something ain't right about that. That ain't that old good stuff. You know what I'm saying? This that new government. When the government put their hands in something and start regulating some stuff like that, I know what it is. See, when the brothers was doing it and they was locking them up and giving them all that time, talking about it was a crime and it was a controls it. That's when they had the good stuff. Now, I don't know what they got going on. Whenever they get their hands in something, they be like, "We doing something good for the people." You better look. You better look right and look left, cause look up and look down, cause there's something in the milk ain't clean. That's all I gotta say. Whenever they got their hands in something, mm-mm. Yeah, this stuff, this herb they got now is not the stuff from back in the day. It ain't that kind bud and all that kind of stuff. That purple, it ain't that kind of stuff. It's different. It's different. Somebody was telling me a while back. They was like, "Oh, it's nothing." I'm like, "You can't. You talking to the wrong one. You is talking to the wrong." Now I know I look. I know I look. I know I might look a little naive. Shit, you talking to the wrong one about it, because I already know. I already know her. I know what the best of the best of the best. Talk you talking to the wrong one now. You know what I'm saying? I know. I know. So so yeah, it's just different. I don't know. It's like we in the upside down or something. It's 2 years ago, like even 2017, and when 2020 hit, it's like they put us in another time zone, another loop, some kind of weird loop with these weird. How do we get? Sometimes I be wondering, like, did I jump dimensions? It's like, did I like, am I in another? Because people be like, oh, when you die, it's the end. I don't think that's what happens. From my understanding and how I feel, it's like you getting out of one car, getting in another. What if you jump in dimensions and you don't really know that you left that body and went in another dimension and you existed? Because they say we exist, and I believe this. I know that. I know this for a fact. We exist in several different realities. So what if you got knocked off on one reality, but then you jump into another reality and you don't realize that what happened to you? You have faint memories and dreams, but you not there no more. But it's not what they say. Like, you not just looking at yourself like, oh, I just passed away. You just jump to another reality because you exist in so many different, like Doctor Strange. But you exist in so many different realities. What if it's like that? Because it's something. It's something. Something has like, it's something just not right with the reality that we're in since like after 2019. Something is off. Something is off. I'm telling you. Something is definitely off. And y'all know I'm not just saying something ain't right. I mean, the world has never been perfect, and it's been a lot of stuff going on, but it seemed like after 2019, 2020, I don't know. It's like they put us in another reality or something. Like, when was it okay to have these kind of people? And we know for a fact that they eat babies. And I mean, we've been like, a lot of us been knowing this, but they called us conspiracy theorists and all this and that. Like, but when is it okay for that to be documented and documents come out and these people are worried about other people committing crimes, but they're at the top committing crimes, and you got victims coming out saying that they got raped and strawberried, and these people have been like on these planes with these certain people like 20 sometimes, and they are still like in governments and running stuff. And it's just, I don't know. Like, we know what Bill Gates and those people are. Like we know they trying to take us out. We know they been trying to take us out. We know it's Agenda 21. We know the World Economic Forum, Swab, and all that. Like we know that all of them grew up together as the 1%. They were like fractured, and they are programmed to try to cut down on the and it's like nobody's like doing anything about it. Like everybody's mad with the immigrants, and everybody's upset with the black fatigue, and the white man is the devil and this and that. But what we fail to realize is that all of this stuff has been set up as a program for us to really just help them out and cut down the population. And then you got the people that's like their little puppets is running, which a lot of these people are puppets and don't know it because they don't realize where they come from. So they really are feeling entitled, but really you got people trying to take out the people that think they are entitled. Like it's and you got the real puppet master sitting in the background, and a lot of the ones that sit in the background, you'd be surprised at what you'd be surprised who the real puppet masters are, because you're never gonna you're not gonna see them unless they want to play a little bit and reveal themselves, like Idi Amin, which was the last king of Scotland. But I mean, and some people that's gonna go over their heads, but some people gonna understand what I'm saying with that. But I mean, like this is really a game. It's really a freaking game. And they playing for keeps, but they really done lost the war. They want us to think that they haven't. So they put on a good front or whatever. But they already done lost. It's over. Game over. And they're desperate now, and they need us to be in fear. They need us to be emotional. They need our energy. And if I was you, I wouldn't give it to them. I would keep my energy and use it for me building my galaxies and my planets and my empire. And the reality that I want, I will keep going within and working on. The more they try to make us, I mean, if you need to, you know what I'm saying? If you need to do what you, this is my thing. I think that if they're scared of us all getting on one accord mentally and spiritually, and if we would just all like just more than just going at battle and fighting, if we would just actually get on one accord as far as mentally, spiritually, and things like that, it's nothing they could do with us. Because if it comes to the physical stuff, they feel like they got that because it's the Matrix. But this, and a lot of them, I will agree, they into the remote viewing and the wizardry, and they have taken our science and try to use it against us and stuff like that. But evidently, they ain't got it all figured out. Cause guess what? When you see them doing the stuff like they doing now, they scared. So evidently, we must got some power that we need to tap into from within that we don't know about. I'm telling you, it's mighty funny that it's an election about to come up, and they got us sitting up here. Every time you turn around, it's something about a melanated person getting locked, the boy getting locked up. I don't know what that is, because he got the same name as the ball player, Carmelo Anthony. That's sad, or what? I mean, that's really sad how they did him. But who has court on a Saturday? I've never in my life seen anything like that. I've never seen somebody rights be that violated that many times. And I don't, matter of fact, I'm not even saying, I believe I believe that he got jumped. But even if he didn't get jumped, he still deserved a fair trial. Like, even if he was guilty, he deserved a fair trial. I'm not, like, I wasn't there, but I believe that he got jumped from the beginning. And that don't mean that the boy should have died, because it's bullies. Like, bullies always been around. But I didn't realize the boy had all this stuff is slowly coming out. I didn't realize that he was epileptic and had got injured and stuff like that. To me, it looks like he's running for his life. I have pity for the other family too. Like, I don't believe that the boy should have got taken out. But if you coming for somebody and bullying them, you never know what the outcome gonna be, because a scared person is a dangerous person. We always been taught that. A scared. That's why I never did people like that. Cause I'm like, even though I might can win or whatever, I don't never know how much fear can. A scared person is very dangerous. You know what I'm saying? You scare a person, you don't never know what bag they're gonna come out of. So I don't condone nobody passing away, and I don't condone nobody bullying nobody. But at the same time, I just think that trial was a bunch of crap, and you deserve a fair trial. Like, regardless, like, he deserves a fair trial. And even if the people were like taken off of the case, or the jurors were like not, they should have made sure they had a balanced jury. Like, and we know that people that are like of other like the Asians and the Latinos, when they come to America, they mark that they are white people. Like, they don't, they think they white people when they come here. They market that they white. So yeah, that was a white jury, all white jury. I mean, that's just not, and it wasn't a jury of his peers. Like, and on a Saturday, I just never seen anything like that. Like, in my opinion, it was so many 14th Amendment violations until it's like like it's like a ritual played out. I don't know. I hope this is no kind of I hope this is not something that is a humiliation ritual, because it, and I don't want to put this out there because I just hope it's not, but it just seemed mighty strange. Like, it's weird. All of a sudden, this is all over the news, and so is the one in South Carolina with the Cyrus guy that the we didn't know nothing about it until the verdict. Like, are y'all that hungry for our we knew nothing about this case all this time. That the Chow man, whatever his name is, Rick Chow, whatever, been going to court for shooting that man and banging him, shooting him in the back, that little boy. We didn't know nothing about it till the verdict came out. Then you got the Carlo Anthony thing. You got that they locked the boy. They been trying to get this little Emmett Till him since he. Then they got something there with a 1 year old. Then they got what else? It's so much stuff going on that they putting attention on with race. You know, so it's always been an issue, but I just seen where what is it, the Southern Leader Poverty Lawyer Firm or whatever, they were going around paying people. They were going around paying people to paying the different hate groups like the Proud Boys and KKK and different hate groups to start stuff because it wasn't enough racism, crime, and chaos going on. So these were the people that were supposed to be helping what is it, SPLC or something, Southern Poverty Lawyer Southern Poverty Lawyer Group or something like that. They just got indicted. They got like 14 indictments, something like that, because they were going around supposed to be helping black people and people that was facing racism. They were going around allegedly paying the hate groups to start shit because it wasn't enough chaos from racism going on. So you got to be careful with all these groups. You got to be careful with all these groups. I don't care what they say their name is and what you never know, because I've heard rumors of the groups working together in the background. I'm talking about the ones that's supposed to be for the black people and the ones that's supposed to be for the white people. I've heard rumors of them since way back, way back, for them meeting up and working together. And I guess it would make sense for them to work together, you know, to keep their whatever they got going, or to keep the people separated or whatever. But I've heard rumors from way back before I was born about the melanated groups that was supposed to be protecting the black people working with the white groups that's supposed to hate black people. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if this was still going on. So we have to be careful with all the organizations, because I was hearing allegedly that the some of them groups was backed by George Soros. You know, during the George Floyd incident and all that. It was that some of this stuff is the energy. I believe some of this stuff is like an energy harvesting ritual to get your to drain your emotions and stuff like that. It's to drain your energy. It's just so much going on before this election with this race, this and this is. I don't know. I mean, kids get. I done seen where at the high school children were taking, uh, bang. They were shooting at some of these schools and stuff. That went all over the news, and I'm not saying that this shouldn't have been, but I believe if it hadn't have been like so televised and you know what I'm saying, it might have been a better outcome. It's just too many people done got involved in it now, and they done made it, too political. I just hope that child is not a sacrifice. Like I hope the best outcome for him. I just hope this not a ritual for anybody to move up or none of that. If it is, then what? I mean, you know what I'm saying. You see why people backing out. Then if it's a ritual, like they said, Trayvon Martin when that happened, and those people were like high leveled in that. I hope it's nothing like that, cause it's getting a lot of people upset. It's getting a lot. I had to catch myself. I'm like, wait a minute, this don't make no sense. This can't be real. They definitely playing some damn what you call it? What you call it when they got the like the when they in the Roman chorus where they in there, they got those uh gladiators running around like they playing a game, like a hunger game for real. Even with this court, even with these cases, even with how they playing in our faces. But why the hell they gonna blast that? They done let that child man go, but they locked this boy up for allegedly defending himself. Now they want to tell us that the boy might didn't pass away from the stab thing. He had heart. It's just, I mean, good God, they desperate for our energy, and I feel bad for that child. But I just see like, listen, I heard somebody recently say they was. I recently heard somebody saying, I guess it went over a lot of people's heads, but I just heard some of the people involved in that case saying that they was a part of they was a part of the groups or whatever, them group society. So I'm like, if they tell them to back off, they gotta back off. If they are part of the same brotherhood and sisterhood, and they tell them, listen, back off of this case. You can't help him. You can't help the boy. This is a ritual that somebody trying to. They gotta back off. I mean, we don't know. Like these, I'm telling you, these people is in these secret. These in it. They in these societies, and they gotta get their rank up. I'm not talking about the family. I'm not talking about them. But is the dad a Muslim? Because I know he was wearing the bow ties and stuff like that. But all of a sudden, it's just popped up and got all this media attention, and you know it's just it's got a lot of people upset too. And I'm not saying they shouldn't be, because I mean it really pisses me off that this happened to a child. He's still a child, and I'm sorry for the other family too. Then all of a sudden the dad pop up, because at first the dad was like, this isn't a race thing. He did say that. He was like, "This isn't about race." He was saying it's about two children. Man, then these people got in it with their agendas and stuff like that, and oh man, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that was just the dad. Maybe the dad knew it was gonna be taken to that level. I don't know. He could be a puppet master too. But I know one thing: they show trying to push people buttons. Cause honey, people get really upset about how people talking and putting people faces on t-shirts and all that. It's a lot of people getting in their emotions about this, but I'm saying it's nothing wrong with it. Say be angry and sin not. Don't let it get to you to the point where you getting out of pocket and let them people drain you. Even with this, keep your mind, keep your heart. Don't let these distractions, even though we gonna wish him the best, we can help him out. People saying that they go not GoFundMe. They said they weren't gonna do the gifts and go or the GoFundMe. One story talking about the people stealing the money. Then another story talking about the lawyers took out. I don't know. It's just a lot. I don't know, but somebody said they was raising a fund for him and it got taken down. So it's just I don't know. Maybe people do need to move in silence with if they're doing something or trying to help them out. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they need to move in silence. Maybe you do need to kind of keep it on the low or whatever. And kind of see what's really what I'm saying, what's going on, because I know if his it looks like his 14 amendments have been violated, they could file a motion for a new trial, and they could file another motion where they gotta produce evidence or let him go. Like if he's been risk certain, it's several different motions that a appellate attorney can file. So and they know this. I mean, hell, you know what I'm saying. So I don't know. Like it's weird. The Saturn day court date. I don't know. I just I hope we not. I hope they're not playing with us like that and getting our emotions involved. They going through a whole ritual and all this stuff for somebody to move up in the society in a society or whatever. Cause it's just mighty funny how all this stuff is coming out with the people getting off at the trial. We didn't know nothing about a court date, and then this situation with this boy. It's just sad. It's just crazy how they try to control the masses and regulate your nervous system and drain your energy. But this has been my son Goddess 777. I am getting out of here. I've been up here long enough. Y'all have a wonderful Sun Saturday. This is Saturday. I'm thinking it's already Sunday, but it's a Saturday's day, and I will be back soon. Hopefully this one won't get taken down. But support Maya's Temple of Healing and Unconditional Love. Yeah, we be doing stuff, and we don't even talk about it till later on sometimes. But you see, like I said, and support Brother Q with the Zayat University. He is doing a great job with those kids, and they've been accredited in other states and stuff like that. That's a good homeschool program for your children or somebody your family members. It's a good program, and they're doing a lot of positive things. And I like it that he is sincerely trying to help those children and passionate about helping those children in that school, and that's his school, and he's doing so much to bring them into a atmosphere of learning technology and being it's to me it seems like they got it going on. It seems like they get more out of it in some of the public schools I see. They get them more of an education. I know some of the stuff is aligned with the school system because he trying to make it so they can be accredited if they want to move on with going to college or whatever. And I don't knock any of that. I just say that when our kids go to these colleges, just keep an eye on them and be careful about what they going for. And I also keep an eye on them joining these groups and these sororities and stuff like that. Because it's not what you think, you just, because sometimes we think, well, our kids are grown now. They can get out of the house at 18 and they're graduating. Children need to be supervised. Their brains don't fully develop. We need to get out of that as a people. That's why a lot of our kids don't went to college and they done got all these degrees and they messed up right now. They didn't can't some of them can't have kids or some of them don't even know about they ain't sure about their sexuality, but you just so happy to brag with your friends about how you sent your child to college at 18. They done made some out of themselves. And they all screwed up on the inside. You know what I'm saying? And it's only a matter of time for what's on the inside gonna show on the outside. A lot of them got drinking problems and addictions, and they just did so much while they was in school, college and stuff, didn't have no guidance. Just stick with your child. Don't just let them be free because they you think they grown. They lie to us. Them kids ain't grown at no 18, 19, 20, 21, 20. People do a lot of stupid stuff in them years because their brain ain't fully developed. They do a lot of stuff. You really think that they let their kids just free willy? You think that them folks let their children be off at them universities and they ain't got groups and stuff watching them? No, our kids be the prey out there. That's what they be eating upon. That's what they be energy harvesting upon. Our little people that we done, girl, they in college now, they in college. You done sent your child off to, even if a lot of times people can be sacrificed without actually, You can sacrifice somebody without actually taking them out. You can sacrifice they it's a lot of ways to sacrifice somebody without taking them off this earth. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be careful of the parents with sending your kids out here to these universities and thinking they cool. Because I'm telling you, them folk, they have people watching over their kids. They have groups. Them children ain't just out there freewheeling it like that. That's what they want you to think. They well connected a lot of times. They in with the dean and they in with the people that administration. They watching out for them kids. Our kids get out there, their brain ain't fully developed. They allowed to do what they want to do, and they make a lot of stupid decisions, and a lot of times it ain't no coming back from some of that stuff that they get involved with. It's okay to, I guess, pursue an education or get indoctrinated even more, because that's what I did. I used to think it was all about. I didn't get in them groups and stuff though. I maybe that's why I didn't go as far as I could have went with my education. Because even though they try to make me a part of the alumni and stuff, I won't trying to get into no sororities and no groups. I ain't never been no motherfucker where you gonna pressure me to do nothing that I don't want to do. I'm not sacrificing, selling out. I'm definitely not gonna use my body for the kid. If I like you, I might give you some cookies. But if I'm definitely not gonna be just doing stuff to get it. I ain't. That's might be why I didn't. I mean, I succeeded and stuff like that, but when you don't do certain stuff, you know what I'm saying? Shit, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I did good considering that I did not do that kind of stuff, but at the same time, when you into them societies and stuff like that, yeah, nah. And I'm glad that I learned that in church about the all that stuff they were teaching us about the child sacrificing. when I when they try to get me in the music industry, I was thinking about. I'm like, damn, they used to show us movies in church about what them people do in Hollywood. That they was showing us stuff back in the day about what they do with them in them industry. So I was always like, they ain't gonna get me. I guess I was a little paranoid because I always be like, no, they're not gonna put something in my drink and have me up here and I wake up and somebody I done been with 20, 30 people. No. Uh no honey. I didn't I won't no, it's not my cup of tea. So I've always been on that, like watching my drink and being aware of that. Cause I be places and it'd be easy for me to be around, like, because I was even when I won't even doing that, just standing around. Hell, I guess I was looking apart, and I'd be like, no, no, thank you, I'm good. I'm Gucci. I'm good. I don't. I ain't never put myself in no situation with no whole bunch of like people. But I mean, nah, no matter how much money they had, I just didn't put myself in certain situations because I'm like, what am I going over here for? And people, they doing all this extracurricular activity, and people get out of their minds and they get aggressive. And I'm not gonna be fighting nobody. I'm not gonna be. No, I'm not going through that. Put myself in those situations, honey. But yeah, just be aware, cause I mean, it's all right to pursue whatever you're trying to pursue. Um, you know, you just have to be aware, cause somebody always trying to get your soul, get your energy, take your life force. You just have to be aware, because everything that smile ain't good, honey. And all money ain't good, but everything that glitter is not gold. All them old sayings make sense now, don't it? All them old sayings be making sense. I remember my grandmama used to say, I don't know them people. I don't know none of they people. Who are they people? I don't know that. I don't know they. I be like, Grandma, you want? I don't want to meet them strange people. I don't know they people. I don't know they people. Them older folks were funny about you getting these straight, cause they don't know what they coming to, like, cause they had to be like that. And sometimes it's sadly it be your people that's close to you. But I guess back then they know the bloodline. They be like, I don't know them straight. They don't know who they sending. Them old folks be like, I don't know them strange people. So I guess they was like, who somebody could be sending somebody and they're the infiltrate or something. That's what my grandmama used to say. She'd be like, I'd be like, Grandma, you want to meet? Who is that people? Who are they people? Shit. She want to know who they people are. I'm not familiar with them strange. I get it. I totally get it. And then sometimes, you meet people and you align with them spiritually. Sometimes it be the people that you know now that be that you gotta watch out for. They be your worst enemies sometimes. The people that's closest to you in your bloodline. So, but this has been my son Goddess 777. Please like, subscribe, and share. And thank you for listening in. I'm out. See y'all again very soon. Maybe later on. I'm gonna see what this do.